In the darkness of the harsh and unforgiving Zaporizhia battlefield, pilots of the 23rd Separate Brigade Khortytsia of the Ukrainian Armed Forces continue to assert their dominance in the skies. They control enemy logistics with an iron fist, destroying critical Russian assets one by one. Cameras capture vivid details, every enemy movement in the open terrain, supporting equipment and personnel in the vicinity. Dramatic footage released captures the deadly precision moments of a series of FPV drone strikes, where each explosion not only destroys equipment, but also demoralizes the Russian occupation forces. The recording opens with a wide view of the gloomy Zaporizhia steppe under an overcast sky. The drone's camera glides low among sparse trees, locking onto a cluster of enemy vehicles and equipment in open terrain. The operator coolly adjusts course, weaves through the undergrowth. Within seconds, the drone strikes its primary target, a logistics vehicle. The powerful explosion sends red flames and thick black smoke into the air, destroying the payload and causing secondary munitions to explode in rapid succession. Debris flew, leaving a black crater in the ground that had once been the enemy's supply route. The effect? Russian mobility in this sector was paralyzed, with surviving personnel fleeing in panic under the threat of further attacks. The transition to night or low-light conditions featured a surprise attack on a larger target, appearing to be an armored vehicle or a moving heavy truck. The drone approached at high speed, its thermal camera capturing the target's dark silhouette, the final seconds revealing a precision maneuver. A massive explosion transformed night into day, a soaring orange-red fireball accompanied by flying metal fragments. It signaled total destruction, including any communication systems or electronic warfare (EW) equipment the enemy relied on to protect the convoy. The force of the explosion indicated the drone carried a high-yield warhead, enough to disable millions of dollars worth of assets in an instant. In bright daylight, one of the climaxes of the footage showed an attack on a convoy element on a busy dirt road. The drone hovered briefly before diving sharply toward the moving trucks and support vehicles. A series of explosions is visible. One target after another is hit, producing long, billowing fireballs and smoke along the route. Debris and damaged vehicles litter the terrain, impeding further troop movement. This attack effectively cuts off supply chains, destroying ammunition, fuel, or replacement personnel en route to the front lines. The strategic impact is significant in the flashpoint Zaporizhia sector. The final section of the footage shows a series of blows. A large explosion on a more static position, perhaps a field depot, artillery system, or temporary command post, followed by a precision strike on an urban or semi-urban area with buildings. One dramatic frame shows the impact on a structure with a Russian flag, where a drone penetrates the defenses and explodes inside, causing heavy structural damage and casualties. The final explosion confirms the total destruction, with fire continuing to burn the rubble. This attack not only destroys enemy assets, but also creates a psychological effect. There is no safe place for Russian troops in the rear. Each attack in this footage is a testament to the high professionalism of the Khortytsia Brigade pilots. Using inexpensive yet deadly FPV drones, they successfully neutralized enemy artillery, logistics, EW systems, communications, and personnel without directly endangering Ukrainian ground forces. This operation was more than just material destruction. It dealt a devastating blow to Russia's ability to maintain its position in Zaporizhia. And "the sky is ours," the Ukrainian drone pilots proclaimed. While the enemy continued to lose equipment and lives, the Ukrainian spirit of resistance grew stronger. Currently, strikes doubled and the Russians retreated, while Russian forces in southern Ukraine heavily depend on trucks to bring them reinforcements and supplies. Those trucks, hundreds every day, mostly travel from Rostov-on-Don in southern Russia through occupied Mariupol in occupied southern Ukraine, before heading farther west toward occupied Crimea or turning north toward occupied Donetsk. Both routes, the M14 highway from Rostov and the H20 threading north into Donetsk, are under intensive drone attack. And it's working. Strikes on Russian logistics in the occupied south more than doubled between February and March, Ukrainian analysis group Tochny found. And the Russians lost ground in March and April. Ukrainian drone units have organized themselves into 3 concentric zones: short-range FPVs near the gray zone, mid-range AI drones over the highways, long-range Firepoint models reaching 200 kilometers deep. The aim? Bleed Russian supplies. And, in so doing, buy Ukrainian engineers time to prepare better defenses along the 1,200-kilometer front line of Russia's 51-month wider war on Ukraine. The Rostov, Crimea, and Mariupol-Donetsk roads are the backbone of Russian presence in the south, mapper and analyst Clement Molin explained. And that's why more Ukrainian drone units are launching more drones toward the roads, and Tochny connected the dots. The intensity of attacks on munitions storage aligns with observed reductions in Russian artillery usage, while fuel-related targeting suggests a parallel effort to constrain mechanized operations by disrupting supply chains behind the front. Anecdotally, it seems the middle strike drones are becoming a serious problem for Russian truckers. More and more drivers are recording Ukrainian drones swooping low over the M14 and H20 highways. More and more drivers are passing burning trucks and logging their distress on social media. One startling video that appeared online this week depicts a Ukrainian drone narrowly missing a military cargo truck parked beneath some trees lining the M14 near Priazovsk in Zaporizhia Oblast. The drone, apparently a Swift-Beat Hornet with AI-assisted targeting, exploded in the trees. The Ukrainian drone deployment has 3 distinct zones, range-matched to risk. Long-range first-person view quadcopters patrol the zone nearest. The Hornets and other AI-assisted drones, including the mysterious B-2, are ranging as far as 150 kilometers and hitting logistics trucks. Remote-controlled Firepoint FP1s and FP2s as high-value targets, warheads weighing as much as 150 kilograms, as Molin explained. The campaign is only possible because Ukrainian industry has massively scaled up drone production over the last 4 years, and now churns out millions of small FPVs and tens of thousands of heavier drones every year. There's another key enabler: the communications infrastructure that connects drones to a growing roster of remote operators. The drone program has intensified, with more pilots available who can fly their drones far behind the front lines thanks to excellent Starlink connectivity, Molin explained. The Starlink satellite terminals can be jammed, however, so Ukrainian drone units have backup comms. Mesh radio networks, in which many connected drones send and receive signals to each other, are the main backup. But some drones also have entirely self-contained inertial navigation systems that work when all external